So Paul, I keep hitting the top of the ball. How can the core help me?
Well, 2 minutes ago you had a big slice, now you're topping. Again, most people that top the golf ball, it's a contact that almost has the club hitting the top half of the ball. That's what most people know. They know that already. But I found that most people have the club coming down really steeply, really quickly, and then right at the last minute they almost sort of think this club's going to really either go into the ground, miss the ball, and I've got to do something, and they almost react to it and try and lift up and try and scoop the ball up in the air. It's almost, it's a really tricky thing that's based on them trying to get a sense of, how am I going to get this ball up in the air? They've been told maybe to hit down on the ball, been told to sort of hit down on it, and then at the last minute they sort of flick up and hit the top half. And again, if we were looking at this really core message that I try and keep going across and talking about all the time, is if the challenge wasn't to hit a ball, if the challenge was to hit a grip end, and there's the grip end on the floor. So there's the grip end, and we've got, it's a flat face that we're going to use to hit it with. That's a flat face. You know, really it's about getting the bottom of this club to sort of just brush the ground. If it brushes the ground, it can never be a top. If it misses the ground, then it's got a chance to be a top. And it's definitely got a chance to be a top if it's got a sort of a flicking action like this. That's definitely got a chance for the club to be coming close to the ground and then almost going away from the ground. So if you top the golf ball, how this is going to help you is by gripping it how I've spoken to you already, and then getting a sense of how would you get this club to brush the ground, just brush the ground, almost the sort of the bottom edge of this club will just sort of graze the ground as though you were knocking that grip end forward. And then if you replace the grip end with the golf ball and you had the brushing of the ground around about where the golf ball is, what's going to happen is the ball's going to be collected by this club and just driven forward. Now that's a skill that you would develop over, maybe half an hour practicing, just driving this into the back of the ball and allowing yourself to see that brushing of the ground. Now, if we could get a sense of that feel, the feel for driving a flat face into the back of a ball, really most people who've come to me with problems with topping, when they have a go with the core and they knock the ball forward and they start to get a really nice feel for a swing that isn't going to top the ball, one of the big things they've often said is that when they go to a golf club, they almost try to imagine that the golf club's still got a flat face. So that they've still just got a flat face thing, even though they know it's an angle, and they're just going to brush the ground as they hit and make a swing. And then when they swing through, they're just getting a sense of that brushing of the ground again, the collection of the ball. And then the ball goes up in the air because the 7-iron loft, that's its job, to knock the ball up in the air. And it isn't an anxious swing of trying to get the ball up in the air. It's purely a sense of trying to get the same feel that they had when they were swinging the core. So the best tip that you can have is really get a sense of brushing the ground. It's never ever going to be a top if they do that. And then when they get a feel for that, committing to it, do the same thing again.